She's flying into a storm in England, nude pictures and ghost stories, and that's just for openers.
People in England generally do get very upset at explicit displays of sexuality.
Coming up next.
Poor Madonna. She's blown a $6 million endorsement deal with Reebok, and she's treading hot water over in Europe, where Madonna mauling is really in vogue these days. The British guns have been out and firing for days, ready for an invasion of London. You'd think she'd retreat a little after being conquered in Italy.
Sono fiera di essere americana perché è il paese in cui sono cresciuta e che mi ha dato...
Who could forget these Italian scandals? Blasted as blasphemous in Rome, a concert cancelled because of her run-in with the Catholic Church.
If you talk, I will stop speaking, all right?
Se parlate, se ne va!
But even those Italian misadventures could not have prepared Madonna for the bite of the Brits when she flew into London today on another leg of her Blonde Ambition tour. Before she even touched down, the tabloid tattletales had lots of steamy stuff, like the nude photo dredged up from her past, like the headline, "I often talk to my dead mom," like the details of her latest love affair, the one with her own slim, trim body. Where will it all end? I mean, it hasn't even started yet.
With us now are three entertainment reporters from the Fox Television Centre in London. Robert Sandel is the rock critic for the Sunday Times of London. He's on the left of your screen. Fiona Phillips in the middle, the show business correspondent for Sky Television. And Chris Hutchins, the gossip columnist for the Today newspaper of England. Welcome, all of you. Chris, let me start with you, if I may. You're giving Madonna a rather rude reception over there in England. Do you have any other surprises in store for her?
Well, I think Madonna's got all the surprises in store for us, Jim. I mean, she came in this morning, in the early hours this morning, slipped into Luton Airport aboard a private jet. It's been trouble with the capital M ever since. She was asking for barbecued pork ribs at 5 o'clock this morning, 3 dishes, and the kitchen staff at the Hyde Park Hotel that said they'd never heard of it, didn't know what to provide her with. She wasn't very happy about that, and I understand her demands at the hotel all day have been pretty bad, and they're thinking about throwing her out. That was the last thing I heard, but she did give them a break at lunchtime when she went for a jog in Hyde Park.
She was viewed as obscene by many people over in Italy, in Rome, with the effect of the church. Do you think the same thing will happen in London, or are people more ready to accept that kind of behavior?
People in England generally do get very upset at explicit displays of sexuality. We're quite a censorious nation in lots of ways, and Madonna has ruffled a lot of people's fur by antics in the past, such as in a vaudevillian kind of fashion, removing her underpants on stage. That didn't go down terribly well with the parents of some of the people who went to her concerts. But I think a fact that none of the three of us has dared to admit so far about Madonna and Britain is that she really does quite dislike, in a very intense way, the British press and the British media.
What do you think will happen when this irresistible force meets this immovable object?
That's a good question. I would think that something's got to give, Jim, in the lines of the old song. But she's not giving a press conference, so she's not going to meet us. She's not going to talk to us.
Mind you, wandering through Hyde Park at lunchtime, the park is absolutely full. If she didn't want any attention, what the hell was she doing there, really? I mean, you don't go for a stroll through Hyde... People in Britain, fat and lazy as they are, look at anyone in a tracksuit jogging through the park. When you're going through there in tight-fitting cycle shorts and an equally tight-fitting top and you're Madonna, what do you expect, really?
Is it fair to say, I guess all three of you would agree, that London is stricken with Madonna mania?
Oh, definitely. A lot of attention's being paid to her outfits again, of course. I mean, last time, as Robert mentioned earlier on, there was a bit of outrage about her divesting herself of her knickers halfway through the concert. She also wore a very skimpy little basque as well. This time she's dressed by Jean-Paul Gaultier, of course, and she wears 3 corsets at various stages throughout the concert, 8 changes of clothes. And apparently, I mean, 3 corsets, apparently it takes 16 lorries to carry these clothes, so I'd love to see the corsets.
Do you think the police will be keeping a watch on her act, as the police did in Toronto?
They'll be lining up for their tickets along with everyone else. We haven't heard any mention that the police are going to be monitoring it in that sort of way.
Well, I want to thank the three of you for joining us on A Current Affair. Robert Sandel of the Sunday Times, Fiona Phillips, the showbiz correspondent for Sky Television, and Chris Hutchins, the gossip columnist for Today, the newspaper over in England.